Today we're making rather something special, one of the easiest meals that you will ever have. So make sure to stay tuned. Yeah? Mm. Oh, we have Jack Mkimbo. Jack Mkimbo is asking napika nini leo. Today I'm making some rice. Making rice with beef stew and a cabbage salad on the side. Welcome so much to my YouTube live. It's nice to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we are making a very hearty, very special meal to me. We're making some rice with beef stew. So we're going to start off by assembling our ingredients. Just like how we usually do, we have our meat. It's really frozen right now, so we'll just set that aside. In the meantime, we'll get the onions and tomatoes and carrots and everything else we need to cook. But before we do all of that, we're going to start by making our rice. So one thing we should know about making rice is that every time you're making rice, you should measure 1 cup of rice for every 2 cups of water. So I'll be using this to measure how much rice you'll be getting. So I'm going to start by cleaning up my pan. So I'm going to clean that up nicely. And then we'll measure 4 cups of water because we're making 2 cups of rice. Our water is ready. We'll just set that aside. Next, we will be adding salt. Just enough salt. And then cooking oil into the water, sorry. And then next, we're going to heat that up. And boil the water. Just make sure to cover it so that it boils faster. So we just cover the water. Next, we'll be measuring our rice. Just keep it ready. So we will measure 2 cups of water, 2 cups of rice. Okay, so you'll set this aside. Don't wash it yet. You're going to wash your rice just when the water is close to boiling. So we'll set that aside. Next, let's grab our ingredients. So this here is everything we need to make the beef. We have 1 carrot, 1 tomato, 1 onion, some green onions, turmeric, and some ginger. So we're just going to peel everything, assemble it before we can start chopping it. So you just have to clean and assemble everything. I'm going to start off by peeling our carrots. Tell me where you're watching from. I'd love to hear from you. Come to my YouTube live. What is your best way that you can usually make your beef? Welcome to my YouTube live. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to subscribe. Drop a comment. Tell me where you're watching from. I would love to say hello to you. So we're going to do our normal trick that we usually use to soak our onions. Soak our onions in water so that they don't sting when you're chopping them. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. Tell me where you're watching from. Join me in this amazing journey on my way to 1,000 subscribers. Think about it this way. If you subscribe right now, I'll tell everybody that you were there for me when I really needed you. So yeah, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for more amazing videos and lives like this. It is you guys that give me the confidence to do this every day. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure to subscribe. Drop a comment, tell me where you're watching from. So next we're preparing our green onions. Just peel off the outer layer and remain with the nice white layer inside. These onions are making me cry. I can't wait to dip them in water. So every time you don't want your onions to sting you while you're cooking them, just soak them in water before you chop them. It really helps out diffusing that itchy water that is in the onions that makes your eyes teary when you're chopping them. So everything is chopped, is peeled nicely. Everything is peeled, so we have all our ingredients ready here. So we are just going to wash them, plate them, and then get started on cooking. So welcome to my YouTube live. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. Drop a comment, tell me where you're watching from. Make sure to like. For more amazing videos and lives like this one, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Drop a comment, tell me where you're watching from. Tonight we are making amazing rice with some beef stew. We already have our water for the rice boiling. Next, we're just making our ingredients for the stew. So first, we're going to start by grinding our ingredients. First, we have our turmeric here, just a small piece. I love using natural turmeric because it brings out that nice, very yellow taste, color to your food. And then I have a piece of ginger here. So I'm just going to chop that and throw it in. Next, we have some garlic. Make sure to chop your garlic and throw it in here. We hadn't peeled our garlic earlier. I always keep on forgetting I need to cook with garlic. So it is until the last minute that I remember that I haven't prepared any garlic. So I start fumbling around and trying to get my garlic ready. Sometimes I end up cooking the whole cloves, you know. So just peel your garlic cloves. Around 3 or 4 bulbs will be okay. Make sure to peel that and throw it inside because you're going to crush all of them together. You just need to crush this and into a really nice thick paste. Thank you so much for joining my channel. It's nice to have you here. Make sure to subscribe. Tell me where you're watching from. All right. So everything is ready. We have ginger, garlic, and turmeric in here. So we just have to crush this into a fine paste. And one of my secrets I use so that I can crush them easy is adding salt. That corrosive nature will help in crushing your ginger and garlic very easily. So check out for the water for your rice. Make sure that it's boiling because mine it is. So we're going to wash our rice and add it to your boiling water. So rice usually cooks by absorbing water. So you want to cover it during your cooking process so that it can cook evenly. You always need to check your fire because when it's too much, your rice can easily burn. So in goes our rice. Make sure to drain all the water. You don't want additional water that you'd use to wash your rice getting into your cooking water. Because remember we had measured the water for the rice. So if it's going to be too much, then your rice won't cook nicely. So the rice is already in. Just going to get some water. Remember we have to soak our onions so that they don't steam. So I'm just going to get the bowl and add all the onions and all my ingredients in there. So to the rice you just added, make sure you stir it just once. That is the only time that you will be stirring your rice. Don't stir it again throughout the cooking process. Nice. So we're going to go back to crushing. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe. Drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from. I'd really love to hear from you. Tell me which one is your favorite rice stew and why. So you just want to crush your ginger, garlic, and turmeric into a very fine paste. That is exactly what I'm doing. Welcome to my YouTube live. Thank you for joining us. Make sure to subscribe. Join my live chat. Tell me where you're watching from. So my garlic is already crushed. The mixture has been crushed into a thick paste, like you can see. So just set this aside. Set aside, get your chopping board. And we are going to start by chopping the carrots. So we're just going to cut them into the medium large pieces and set it aside. Next we are chopping our green onions. Okay, so our carrots are chopped nicely. Huh? So next we're chopping our onions. So let me just show you the progress of where I am at, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. Drop a comment, tell me where you're watching from. I'd love to hear from you. So we're just going to chop our onions into some very thin slices. I don't know if you can see my slices. So just chop them nicely. So at this point, our rice is beginning. The water in the rice is beginning to dry up. So we're just going to move that to the smallest burner so that it can finish cooking slowly. Make sure you cook it on low heat so that it does not burn. Cover it and let that cook in. Next, we're going to grab a pan. So that you can start making the meat. So just put it over the fire and heat your pan for a few minutes until all the water is dried off. So you want to finish chopping your onions at this point because you're going to need them very soon. So chop your green onions too. As you can see, my green onions are here. So just put my onions in my plate. And then next I'm gonna go in and chop my onions. Make sure to chop them into small pieces. Okay, so the oil in the pan is completely dry. Let's get some cooking oil. Pour in just a little. Make sure to heat your oil. Don't add your meat yet. As you can see right there, we have rice cooking. Just take your meat and throw it in. Okay, that was scary. That was definitely not a good idea. Oh my god. That was definitely a terrible idea. Now that happened because there's a lot of water. There was a lot of water in my meat, so we're just going to let that cool down. So I am going to turn it. Just cover it. So our meat has been in the freezer for some time now. And I put it in the pan with all the water and frost in it. So my meat is already chopped. Should I add water? Do you think I should add water? Okay, I should definitely add water to this. I'm going to add water and we're going to cook that. Come. Okay, just cover that and let it cook. Okay, so you want to chop your ingredients as mine. So keep on checking your meat. At this point, you can see the frost is starting to, what is the word? We're just going to let this continue cooking. In the meantime, we will be checking on the rice. Just want to get your fork. So let's see how the rice is doing. So the rice is ready. Let it sit in. And now we are going to wait for the meat. Your meat needs to boil completely until it is soft and tender, so that you don't break your jaws while you're chewing off. So let's add more water and continue boiling. One. Hello, hello. How are you? Welcome to my YouTube live. Thank you so much for joining in. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. Tell me where you're watching from. Join my live chat. I'd like to say hello to you. Tonight we are making some beef stew with rice. Our rice is already ready. So right now we are making the stew. We've just started boiling the meat. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining in. Tonight, Hello, hello. Welcome to my YouTube live. Thank you so much for joining in. Tonight we're making rice with beef stew. So right now we are boiling our beef so that it can be nice and tender. We're going to boil it until the water is completely dried up. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining in. Welcome to my channel. Tonight we are making beef stew with some rice and some steamed cabbage. So we're just going to boil our meat until it's ready, completely cooked. Stay until the end of this live. I will be showing you a very nice hearty snack with very easy ingredients in your kitchen. So make sure to stay until the end of the live. Don't forget to subscribe. Join my live chat. Tell me where you're watching from. I'd really like to hear from you. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Make sure to subscribe. Join my live chat. Tell me where you're watching from. So just make sure to check on your meat. You don't want it to burn, so stir it every once in a while. Hello, thank you for joining us. So at this point, we are going to fry our meat a little. Just brown it for some time. So I'm just going to show you how you want to brown your meat. Let me just turn the camera. Make sure to brown your meat for some time. Just saute it for 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, so make sure your meat is nice and brown, like mine is. And then pour it in a bowl and set it aside. to your pan, add onions. You're going to add both green and purple onions. Add just a little oil so that it doesn't burn. And saute until golden brown. I'll just show you where our onions are at. Saute until golden brown. And a secret for you to having an evenly nice onions, just cover them so that they can cook evenly. Cover your onions so that they can cook evenly. Hello, thank you so much for joining in. Make sure to subscribe. Join my live chat. Tell me where you're watching from. I'd love to hear from you. Tonight, we are making some rice, cabbage salad, and beef stew. At this point, we have covered our onions so that they can cook. But make sure to keep stirring them every once in a while so that they do not burn. Hello. Thank you for joining in my live. Tell me where you're watching from. So at this point, you're going to cover the onions so that they can cook evenly. Just let them sit in for some time. Make sure to keep on checking on your onions. So the onions are ready. Next, you're going to add the crushed garlic, ginger, and turmeric paste. Here you go. Get your beef, throw it in there. And some carrots too. So we're going to add a little water. And then we're going to throw in our spices next. So we're going to start off with some beef masala. Just a little. Next, we're adding curry powder. We're going in with salt next. Throw in all kinds of herbs that you like. Turmeric, turmeric or oregano or cumin. Hi, welcome to my YouTube live. Thank you so much for joining in. Join my live chat. Tell me where you're watching from. Thank you so much for joining in. Make sure to subscribe. Join my chat. Tell me where you're watching from. Tonight we're making some beef stew with rice and a cabbage salad. Make sure to stay in. Keep stirring every once in a while. Now we are adding tomatoes next. Throw in your chopped chili. Add just a little water. So we're going to let that sit in. We'll cover that. Let the tomatoes cook. So the next stage, so next we'll be preparing the cabbage for the salad. I'm going to start off by trimming the edges because it has been in the fridge for some time now. Hi, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining in. Drop a comment, tell me where you're watching from. Hi, thank you so much for joining in. Drop a comment, tell me where you're watching from. I'd love to hear from you. So make sure you slice your cabbage to small pieces. I'm going to have a bowl so that I can keep transferring my cabbage because my body is really small. Thank you so much for joining in. It is nice having you. So don't neglect your beef. It's not yet ready. Make sure to keep checking it and stirring it every once in a while so that it does not burn. So at the end of this video, I will be teaching you how to cook some very quick snack from your leftover chapati. Like you remember, if from our yesterday live, we were making some chapati. If you missed that live, you can just go to my page and you will find the live there. I will be showing you how to make a quick snack using some leftover chapati. So make sure to stay in. So just make sure to chop your cabbage into some nice small pieces. We'll be making a very cheesy snack at the end of this live. Drop a comment, tell me where you're watching from. Hi, welcome to my live. Tell me where you're watching from. I'd love to hear from you. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. So at this point, we are preparing the cabbage for our salad. We'll be making a very quick cheesy snack with some leftover chapati from yesterday. But you're going to need this salad. Hi. Welcome to my YouTube live. At this point, our meat is thickening in very nicely. So just keep on cooking it so that it can continue being tender. While we are preparing our meat, we are going to chop our cabbage for the cabbage salad. Make sure to subscribe. Drop a comment. Tell me where you're watching from. I would like to hear from you. Hi, welcome to my live. So give me one reason why I keep being here, showing up. Thank you so much for joining in. Now our cabbage is ready. Our next ingredient for the salad is onions, but before we get to the onions, just make sure you continue checking on your meat. This is exactly what I'm doing right now. Let me just so this needs to cook a little, so we are going to add some water so that continues cooking. Next thing, we want to finish preparing our ingredients for the salad. So let this one boil into a nice paste. Make sure to cover that. Let's get our onions. So you have two ingredients next. You have one onion. I usually have one question. This onion that I'm holding in my arms, is it a red onion or a purple onion? What do you usually call them where you come from? So you're going to chop this. Now before you chop your onion, you want to soak it in water for a few minutes. Next, we'll be preparing our next ingredient. Which is 1 carrot. We're going to slice it into a few pieces. Tell me where you're watching from. I'd like to say hello to you. Drop a comment. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. So make sure you peel your carrots nicely. After peeling your carrots, this is a very, very important stage of how you make your carrots. I am going to just turn the camera so that I can show you how you're going to chop your carrots. So you have 1 carrot here. Before we proceed, make sure to check on your beef. You don't want that to burn. So let that continue cooking. Next, get your knife. Divide your carrots into 2 pieces like this. And then next, you're just going to go in and slice them as thin as possible. Then you're just going to make sure you chop until they are as thin as possible. After that, I have my carrots. I'm just going to mix them in. And the next stage is chopping the onions. Make sure you chop them into some very thin slices. Okay, so you want to take the thinnest pieces of the onions that you've chopped, crush them in your arm, and then pour them in your cabbage. So there we are. The next stage, mix everything together. So just mix everything together. So set this aside. I'm going to show you how you can finish making your salad. But next, let me show you the progress of the beef. At this point, this is nicely cooked. At this point, we have a very nice thick paste. So let's add a little water so that we can have some soup. So we're going to move it here so that it can continue cooking. The softer it gets, the better. So next, let's get our pan for making the salad. So just put your pan over a fire. Next, get your cooking oil. Make sure that your pan is completely dry. You don't want to mix water with oil and have a disaster like I had when I started making the beef. So I don't want to make the same mistake twice. So my pan is nice and dry. Then I'm going to add some oil. You just want to heat your oil for a few minutes, say 1 or 2 minutes. Give or take. So just heat your pan. Then throw in your onions. Saute till golden brown. Hi, thank you so much for joining in. Join my live chat. I'd like to hear from you. Tell me where you're watching from. Make sure to check on your stew. Don't forget about that. Ow. I almost burnt my fingers. So you're going to add a little water. At this point, you can add your coconut milk for more tastier beef stew. So I'm going to grab my Kenya mug. Cheers. Thank you so much for joining in. Now I'm going to add some water. Just get enough, just a little stew, not too much, because we still want our stew to be thick. Okay, nicely. And just cover it so that it can continue cooking. Let's go back to making our salad. So this salad is going to saute our onions till they're golden brown. Then we have a mix. We have a mix of carrots, cabbage, and onions. We're just going to throw them in and cook. Now we don't want to cook this for a long time. You don't want to overcook this because you want the cabbage to have that nice crunchy salad taste. So add salt to taste. You can add your black pepper. Now you want to cook this on very high flame. So I'm just going to move around, show you where we are at, because you don't want to overcook your salad so that it doesn't have that soggy taste in your mouth. You really want your salad to be very, very crunchy. So I'm just going to show you where we are at right now. So at this point, you can see everything is whole. You can see everything is oil. You can add some rosemary and cumin for nice herby taste. And this is ready. Just going to take that out. Okay, so I'm going to switch burners. I am going to, so when you're finished with the salad, make sure you continue stirring it so that it doesn't cook on one side because our pan is still hot. Okay, that is nice. So stew is very hot. And this is how our beef curry is looking like. Now you are looking at an amazing, amazing meal. It's an amazing dinner of some beef stew, some cabbage salad, and some rice on the side. So there is an amazing dinner. Now I promised you that I would make a quick snack. I would make a quick snack from leftover chapati from last night. So the very first thing, the very first step, you want to heat your pan. So we're just going to let our stew sit in for a minute. So heat your pan. After heating your pan, grab your leftover chapati. So these are the chapatis from yesterday. As you can see, they're still soft. So we're just going to make sure you have a clean pan. Throw in your chapati. Next, you will grab your favorite cheese of choice. I'm using some grated mozzarella cheese. I'm using this cheese. So spread your cheese. Okay, so we missed a step there. Now you just want to spread a thin layer of cheese first. Next, from today's stew, we're going to grab just a little dressing. So add your dressing. Next, add a few chunks of your beef and carrots that we cooked tonight. Make sure you spread everything evenly. Just a few pieces. So you want to reduce your heat to be on low so that you don't burn it. Okay. So add just a little more salad dressing. Next, get a spoon, throw in just a little soup. All around. And then in goes the cheese. After you have added the remaining of the cheese, just cover it. Let that simmer on low heat. As that is cooking, we will be plating so we're just going to check. So at this point, hmm, okay. So thank you so much for joining in. Next, we will be plating our nice cheesy chapati snack. It was amazing being with you. There you have it. Some very nice cheesy leftover chapati. Okay, let's set that aside. Next we'll be plating our rice. Now, I really love fruits to go with my meals. So in this live tonight, we will be making some avocado. So make sure to stay and watch. Okay, so first we have some rice that is seriously falling apart. And then next, let us serve our stew. There you go. Some salad on the side. Now there is one very important part of your meal, which is this guy here. So let's just chop that up. There you have it. That is our dinner for tonight. Rice with beef stew and some cabbage salad on the side. Rate this meal out of 10. Tell me what you think. And on the side, we have a snack, some quick snack that we made using our leftover chapatis from yesterday. So thank you so much for joining in. That was our live for today. Thank you so much. Make sure to drop a comment. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for more lives like this one. And yeah, have a good night. Until see you the next time. Have a good night. So I'm just going to give you a tour of this meal. First, we have our snack. This snack is made of some nice chapati, leftover chapati from last night. We have an avocado on the side. And on here, we have our main dinner for tonight. We made some rice with our cabbage salad dressing and some beef stew. Thank you so much for joining in. It has been an amazing time having you. So there is our meal. Next, we have some rice, cabbage salad with beef. Thank you so much. And goodbye.